But in this case, it's not quite a skull, even though it looks terrifying. In this case, it's an octopus slash squid. It's a death octopus, or a very twisted version of that, very morbid looking. Now for this next part of the reading, I did say in the beginning it looked like an ear in the bottom left-hand corner initially. I saw that as an ovary, but was hesitant on saying it, and I did mention that too, because it didn't feel relevant. And then lo and behold, as I'm working on this evil squid or octopus, I could vividly make out, as I'm shading the eyes very fast, what looks like two ovaries combined. But initially it was merely a reflection in the eyes. That's it. I didn't see it right away. I was going super fast. The octopus slash squid also strangely depicts with its tentacles the same thing. It now looks like it's grabbing this life force, or grabbing the circle of life, the egg, the earth globe. It's grabbing it like it's an egg or treasure to be stolen. I'm getting a message of stealing and or exploitation. What gets me about this too is the ovaries are in the reflection, right? The reflection of the eyes. That tells me it is physically close or in front of the evil sea creature or evil energy that is present. Or it's actively looking at it and in pursuit of it in a weird way. Pursuit of the feminine. The sea creature just so happens to look like death too. Sounds really weird, but there is an agenda to kill the feminine. It wants the feminine, or it's preying on feminine aspects. I'm getting a collective energy of one trying to use and abuse the energy of the feminine for evil or their own benefit. This applies on a singular level, but also worldwide. I'm also seeing for their own profit, trying to profit. Also hearing profiting off of eggs. Egg donation. Once again, I'm getting something is being stolen. Then in the middle of what is depicted as the female productive system, or an octopus, I noticed where the nose is here. That eventually formed into a dagger or weapon. And it came ever so, do you see that? The sides here? Looks like a sword. Pirate sword. Right there. Blends in so well. Sex, or sex, can be weaponized. Reproductive health or rights can be weaponized technically, depending on your viewpoint. It can also be controlled in a way. That's what I'm seeing is happening. I'm also seeing with my drawing where it looks like the dagger. The female body is quite literally being split open or stripped in a very disturbing way to me. Do you see the hands here being tied back? And then it looks like this is the chest area, and then it's being split from the bottom, or from the legs, I guess you could say. And then here's the hands. She's being detained, but then it's a weapon. But the female body is being split open or stripped in a disturbing way. This is someone's autonomy being stripped from them. There are parts of you that are so deeply personal that no one is entitled to. I'm also seeing one/you being ripped open, as in I desire access, I desire control. There's this energy of fighting back against that, like you're actually being attacked. It feels like you're being attacked. Once again, this is the embodiment of violence on the feminine, whether that be sexual, or violence that leads up to one not feeling safe in general, it comes in many forms. Hence where masculine energy comes in. There's also this zipper effect. Only the body is showing, which further tells me this is objectification or feeling objectified. You feel objectified or have your own story indirectly on why you have your guard up. And it's very different from person to person. A huge message here is feminine energy is not weakness, and it is not to be preyed upon. It's actually very strong. And it's not about the body. It's not about the shell. It's not about the exterior. I'm seeing elements of the Death card once more regarding the skin being stripped off the body. I'm seeing as well, you guys are going to be stripped of everything. There's that message again, but in a sense where you guys are stripped bare. You are seen in your entirety. That is the deepest form of intimacy. Someone seeing beneath your layers or beneath your armor and battle wounds. When you decide, they can. You decide. Both men and women. Autonomy. It's deeply personal. Just like your body is your body. However, the feminine here is the dagger, is the weapon too. The feminine has all the power, but that's not supposed to be in a condescending or powerless way. It reminds me of how you can tell a lot about someone by their opinion on certain topics. Some view women as portals, life givers, and powerful, complex beings, while others wish to remain ignorant to that. They don't see life. They see evil. They see temptation or something to be triggered by. But that's their own wounds to figure out on their own. That's them needing to meet themselves deeper. So circling back yet again, nothing is inherently evil, yin and yang. They all serve a purpose and need to work with one another. This is a major lesson that's showing up in the collective right now or presently, especially when it comes to viewing, for example, lust as this evil force that needs to be battled outside of yourself. The true enemy is suppressing those desires and villainizing them completely. I'm also picking up on the feminine energy or woman here that also somewhat looks like a creature if you really think about it. Being in major defensive mode. You're in defensive mode. Like back off or halt. But from a male perspective, you could see back off from their point of view as not allowing it in at all. Not allowing it to be expressed. Get away. I don't feel these things. I don't know anything about that. As I continued channeling and drawing, adding detail in general, it started to become increasingly evident where the old man is, that he's being held down in cuffs. Like, do you see here the black and how it goes here and also extends there? Like, he's being held down on display for people to watch. Similar to what was said about it looking like hands reaching out from the ground to get him in its earlier stages. In this case, it doesn't look like jail bound. This looks like you're about to swim with the fishes, if you know what that saying means.